The rain had been falling since early morning, washing the dust from the streets and turning the market roads into thin streams of muddy water. People rushed past with covered heads and tired faces, but one man walked slowly, as if he had nowhere to go. His clothes were old, his shoes torn, and his shoulders slightly bent. Anyone who looked at him would think he was poor, broken, and forgotten, but no one knew that behind that tired face was a man who owned companies, buildings, and wealth beyond imagination. His name in the business world meant power, but today he carried no name, no status, no money, only a small cloth bag and a heavy heart. For years he had lived surrounded by glass walls, luxury cars, and people who smiled only when he entered the room, but lately something felt missing. His success no longer brought peace, and every night he wondered when he had last felt real. So he made a decision. He told no one. He left his mansion, removed his expensive watch, and dressed like a man who had lost everything. He wanted to see the world without his wealth, to understand how people treated someone who could give them nothing. The afternoon hunger clawed at his stomach. He walked through the crowded market, watching vendors shout prices and customers argue over coins. He asked for work at a few shops, but they waved him away. Some laughed, others ignored him completely, as if he were invisible. The rain grew heavier, and cold seeped into his bones. He found shelter near a broken streetlight, where a small stall stood, made from wooden planks and plastic sheets. There a woman sat with a little girl beside her. They were selling simple, homemade bread wrapped in cloth. The woman looked exhausted, yet calm. Her hands moved slowly, counting the few pieces left. Little girl was no more than 8 years old. Her dress was clean but worn, and her hair was tied with a faded ribbon. She noticed the man standing nearby, and stared at him for a moment, before gently pulling her mother's arm and whispering something. The woman looked up, and their eyes met. She did not ask him why he was there, or what he wanted. Instead, she spoke softly, saying, "If you need shelter, you can sit here. The rain is strong." Man hesitated, surprised by her words. He nodded and sat on an empty crate nearby. Water dripped from his hair and jacket. The little girl moved closer and offered him a small piece of bread. Her hands were tiny and slightly cold. Looked at the bread, then at the woman, and shook his head. But the woman smiled gently and said, "Please take it. We can share in." That moment something tightened in his chest. That bread might have been their dinner, yet they offered it without hesitation. He accepted it slowly and thanked them, his voice low and careful as he ate. They spoke little, but enough. He learned that the woman had lost her husband years ago, and since then she worked wherever she could, cleaning houses, sewing clothes, and selling bread on the street. Her daughter was her strength and her reason to keep going. Man listened quietly, absorbing every word. Each sentence felt heavier than any business loss he had ever faced. The girl talked about her dream of going to school and becoming a teacher so she could help other children like her. When the rain finally eased, the man stood up. He thanked them again and reached into his bag, pretending to search for coins, but there were none. He bowed his head slightly and said, "One day your kindness will return to youth." Woman smiled, as if kindness itself was enough, and replied, "We do not give to receive, we give because it is right." Ho's words followed him as he walked away into the wet streets. That night, he found shelter in a crowded place, sleeping on a hard floor surrounded by strangers. For the first time in his life, no one recognized him, no one cared who he was, and strangely, he felt lighter. Next morning, he continued his journey, seeing hunger, struggle, and quiet strength everywhere, but the image of the woman and her daughter stayed with him. Their simple kindness had touched him deeper than any deal or award ever had. Days later, he returned to his real life, stepping back into his office, wearing his suit once again, but he was no longer the same man. He ordered an investigation, not to judge, but to help. He searched for the woman and her daughter, not with pity, but with respect. They were finally invited to the tall glass building. They were afraid, thinking something bad had happened. The woman held her daughter's hand tightly as they entered the large office room. The door opened, and the man stepped inside, clean, well-dressed, and confident. The little girl recognized his eyes first and whispered, "Mama, it's him." Man walked forward slowly and told them the truth about who he was and why he had been on the streets. The woman stood, frozen tears filling her eyes, bowed his head, and said, "Your kindness reminded me of humanity you shared when you had nothing, and that changed me." And in that room, lives quietly began to change forever. The room felt silent after his words, as if even the air was listening. The woman struggled to breathe, her mind unable to understand how the poor, hungry man she had shared bread with was now standing in front of her as a powerful businessman. Her daughter held her hand tighter, eyes wide with confusion, and the man gestured gently for them to sit. His voice was calm, not proud, not loud. He explained everything: how he had gone undercover to escape his empty life, how he wanted to feel what it meant to be treated without money and power, and how their kindness had stopped him in his tracks. Woman lowered her eyes, ashamed, and whispered, "Sir, we did not know who you were. We only did what felt right," smiled softly, and replied, "That is exactly why you matter so much." Told them he had not brought them there to show off his wealth, but to return what had been given to him that night, something priceless: dignity, warmth, and humanity. Offered the woman a steady job in one of his companies, not charity, but respect, fair pay, safe work, and security. He promised education for the little girl in the best school, along with books, uniforms, and dreams. She would never again have to sell bread in the rain. Girl looked up with trembling lips and asked, "Will my mama still be with me every day?" Nodded and said. Wasters streamed down the woman's face as years of pain, exhaustion, and fear finally broke. She tried to speak, but no words came, only gratitude and The change did not end there. True to his word, the man did something no one expected. He started a new foundation named not after himself, but after a simple idea: kindness first. The foundation supported single mothers, street vendors, and children who dreamed of school but could not afford. Heath ordered his managers to visit markets, slums, and streets, not to judge but to listen. Those who showed honesty, effort, and kindness were given opportunities, training, and dignity. Woman became a supervisor in one of the foundation kitchens, helping other women like herself. The little girl attended school every morning wearing a clean uniform, her head held high. But what surprised everyone most was the change in the billionaire himself. Stopped living behind closed doors. He visited foundation centers, quietly spoke to people, ate simple meals, and listened to stories without rushing. One evening, months later, he returned to the same street corner where it had all begun. The broken streetlight was still there, the rain had stopped, and the air smelled of dust and food. Stahl stood there, remembering the night that changed him. He did not feel like a savior. He felt like a student. Little girl, now confident and smiling, ran toward him holding a book she had learned to read, and proudly read aloud her first sentence. He listened with wet eyes, knowing that one small act of kindness had created a chain no amount of money could ever bind. The world slowly learned that the richest man among them was not the one with the most money, but the one who remembered how to be human.